I work most days. I think it's Friday. I'm doing another live video. I hope you dig it. These are slow burns. You won't be seeing me doing anything crazy, but I will be working on one of my favorite ribbon microphones. This is called a MXL R144, a ribbon mic. These cost less than 99 bucks. The reason I'm continually talking about these, most ribbon mics of the world, if you're an engineer, especially on computer system, ribbon mics are really amazing tools in the toolbox for recording. This is a brand new MXL that just came from Sweetwater. The way it works is these cost $99. What people do is you can get my information here, and you could, in the description is my email. You can send me a message, get my P.O. box, you buy one of these for $99, and I will upgrade it, and I'm not even lying, it will sound like a $900 to $1,200 ribbon mic once I'm done with it. Now, it sounds like a bunch of voodoo black magic. What are you talking about? Well, ribbon mics are kind of all created equal, but in not. Like, let's say if this is made in China, taking this stuff off. People give China a lot of heck because I want to be made in America. I'm making my own ribbon mic right now, and this grill, you cannot get this made in the U.S. There's no way. I'm in Los Angeles. If I went down to Orange County or up to Sun Valley to all these metalworking places, and I said I want to make a head basket like this, it would probably cost me $100,000 for a small amount. It's incredibly expensive to do this metal work. So that's why I kind of tell people, and there is a difference between AEA, Royer, Coles, and buyers. It's somewhat is in the engineering of the microphones, but also in the consistency of the ribbon. Those companies spend a lot of time to get the ribbon right. And what I'm going to do here is, because I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and just by accident, a buddy of mine had about, 12, 15 Chinese mics that he bought on a budget, and a few MXLs. And as I first started ribboning mics, I would just do them to see what would happen. And what happens is I realized that in my own cutting and practitioner of cutting ribbons, if I cut the ribbon in a high grade, high caliber, using high grade aluminum foil, just like the big companies do, I get about 2 to 3 dBs more sound out of this. That being said, kind of blew my mind. So I would test these mics, and I have a studio. I'm a producer. I've done bands like Los Lobos, and if you know indie rock, Kim Deal, new solo record. I did a track on her new record called Wish I Was. I did a record with Kim Deal for Breeders called Mountain Battles. I've done a lot of crazy noise band, my own band. If you see some of my other videos, the introduction to Manny's Mic Locker is me singing, playing guitar in my own band called the Chavez Ravine. And then I was in a band called Distoritonfelix with Juan from the Mars Volta on bass. My new band has Mondo Lopez, who was in Morrissey, the Breeders. What else? He's currently on tour with Kim Deal. Anyway, so coming to you as someone credible and trying to, offer something that's very interesting. Like, I don't have a repair shop, but most of the people I work for are in other bands and other producers. They've come to me now, and they search me down to fix their Cole microphones, their Bayer microphones. But my passion is still to have people buy this $99 ribbon mic, and then they send it to me, and I upgrade it. And I'm not even lying, it sounds as good as an AEA R84 if you want to look it up, or an AEA N8, or an AEA N22. It's a big-bodied ribbon that's figure 8, but these sound super killer. So I'm going to try to get this done in a fast. I didn't pre-cut anything, so I'm just going to be doing this on the spot. But like I said, these microphones are really killer, and it's just by accident. Hold on. Green. Do I swallow? I don't know. I don't know about that. Hello, everyone, whoever's there. Okay, so obviously you just unscrew the bottom. But once again, I'm showing you this because it's not only changing the ribbon, but I have to show you, and once again, no disrespect to them. They make these microphones so they can be sold for $100. And me changing out what I think could be better isn't necessarily a bad thing on their end. They're just giving you a service. You know, if they send this mic and they had it, you know, over to Royer or AEA and they were going to do this mic, the work they would do just in the ribbon department would make this mic be godly. And once again, these are made in China. And when I open it up, I'll give you kind of a rundown of why I believe I can make these mics a little bit better. But then you can also see why these mics can also be made better. Trying to get through this fast. So this is live. My name is Manny. I do crazy funky videos on ribbon mics mostly, but if you watch some of my tutorials, I'm a badass recording drums and bands, and maybe there's something in there that you can check out. I'm not saying that I'm even one of the best or the craziest producers, engineers, but I definitely have a style about me. Steve Albini showed me how to record years ago in 1998, and I've been all analog for my first 13 years of recording. And because Steve Albini is a amazing not only engineer, but he really loved ribbon mics. Early on, my introduction to Beyer mics was mind-blowing, and as I've kind of matured in my sound and figured out things, I've grown to really love. Before I was just like, oh, fuck all of the mics, I only like Beyers. But I've really grown to love RCA, BK5s, I love 44s, and also, not weirdly, but I love these mics. These mics are $99 mics you can buy. And you can see, okay, right now, I just opened it up. I haven't done anything to it. If you can see that ribbon is just hanging in there. That is just a no-no. So if I blow on it, it's actually hanging out of the mic, if you can barely tell. So yeah, that whole thing, if you can see how it's just hanging in there like a hammock, that is the problem. This mic works its best with the ribbon right in the middle of the magnet. That's how all ribbon mics work. So this, buying it now, if you stand it up, the ribbon's probably hanging, well, it's still kind of messed up, but out of the factory, they're lax because they think when they ship them, they don't want any problems with them to get damaged in shipping. And if I put a drum set in front of this and I ran it into some Neves, you'd probably go, oh, fuck, that's a pretty good ribbon mic. But unless you've changed out the ribbon and optimized the gap, you'll never know. So you can see that. It's massive. So what it is, I think, and I'm just making an assumption, I've never been to the MXL factory. Let's see here. What I'm going to do, which is going to make this mic better, I wish maybe I can put it behind there and you can see it. There's a little bit of, it's a big gap between the ribbon. Is when these are made, I don't know what the factor is, but this is obviously stainless steel. These magnets are glued, and that's considered the gap, and this is a 2-inch magnet. When they make these in the factory, I don't know if they pre-cut all these ribbons. I'm going to say that ribbon is probably about 4 millimeters wide. This gap is probably going to be between 4.90 to 5 to 510, 520, all the way up to 550. I've seen the gaps in these. What is that inconsistency in? I have no idea. If when they cut the metal, maybe it's not always cut right. If these magnets thickness, the variable difference of who knows, if you buy 500, maybe they're thicker than others. The glue, the adhesive, everything adds to the gap of this ribbon mic, which makes it go bigger and shorter. But they can cut the same ribbon and put it in every mic. So it's kind of like rolling a dice. This one looks like it's probably 4 millimeters within a 5 millimeter gap. But let's find out what the gap is. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to cut it as close as I can to the magnet And that's where I'm going to get 2 to 3 dB difference. And even though people go, well, why don't you change the transformer? Well, guess what? When I get 3 to 4 dBs difference in this microphone, you don't need to change the transformer. Let me put it on my little rack here. Because that's what transformers do. They add a little bit of volume to it. Now, if you want to put a Lundell in this, that's great. But my service for upgrading these mics is $250. And the way it works is someone buys these for $99. They contact me first before they buy it. And Sweetwater ships it to me in the United States for free. You can even tell right there, it's like really, really bad. I mean, that is just, it's not even straight. And what they do is they ship it to me for free. And then your $250 that you pay not only gets me to replace the ribbon, but I send it back to you for free. I insure the microphone, what you paid for it, and I insure the $250 that you paid me for the upgrade. So at that point, you're getting the mic for $99. You're paying me $250. Now let's say you're saying, "Oh, Manny, how does that work out?" That's still $350. The budget for $350 in the ribbon world is the next level are fatheads. Fatheads are exactly like this mic, except they have a Lundell transformer. Still, you get a Chinese ribbon. Still, you get the inconsistency. Still, when you open up a fathead, it looks like that. So if you get $350 and you buy a fathead, you still have to do with this. And people send me their fatheads, and I still do it. So if I do a fathead and it costs $300, and now we're talking about a mic about $500 or $550 that I've re-ribboned, there still isn't a ribbon mic on the market until you get to $700, $800. And then you get into those smaller Royers, maybe some SC Voodoos, which are great mics. And then you talk about $900 to $1,200 for the used market of AEA, and then you talk about $1,200 to $1,300 to $1,400 for R84s. So even getting this for $99, even paying $250 to upgrade this, there isn't another ribbon mic that has quality and a great cut ribbon, anything under $700. And then even then, Royers have a sound that some people like, some people don't. AEA probably, generally speaking, can hit the mark of meeting most needs to be happy. Buyer 160s on the used market could be about $400 or $500, but you don't know if the ribbons are damaged, and those are really a bitch to change. And then new are like up to $700 to $800. So yeah, that's a lot of blah blah blahs. And this is my Topo Chico. If you like what you see in the thanks, you can buy me a Topo Chico. You just hit the thanks icon. Hold on. Making these videos, I'm not really doing this for Topo Chicos. What I would hope is not only this can be a tutorial for someone that's excited about working on mics, but also I'm trying to offer something to people that if you want it, if you have a recording studio and you don't have the skill set or the tools to do any of this, let's basically try to get you a mic that sounds close to a professional $1,200 to $1,400 ribbon mic by just having someone that really cares and someone that has worked on all the hardest ribbons in the world. Like, I can say proudly that I work on Coles, which are called 4438s. That's like Ringo Starr, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. Jack White sings out of them, plays guitar with them. The ribbons in those mics, like this ribbon is going to be 2.5. 2.5. Cole ribbons are 0.6. It's almost like you're cutting air. It's like someone holding air and then putting air in there. They rip, they tear. They're almost nearly impossible to work with. It's taken me a long time to be able to perfect that. But I have. And the reason is when I'm making a ribbon mic now. My company's called Original GravityWave Microphone Company. I listed all my information in the description. That microphone company, I wanted to make sure if I'm going to talk the talk and walk the walk that I can work on your mic, I better know what I'm talking about. So the way I look at it is, if someone's going to make a race car, you better have won the Indianapolis 500 if you're going to sell me a race car, or the Le Mans, or your Formula One, or even your go-kart. Maybe I'm the champion go-kart racer. I'm making a go-kart. Well, you better tell me that your go-karts can win some races. I can tell you that my ribbon mics sound fucking amazing, and everybody's happy. I've gotten mics to local bands like Warpaint. I've been over Daniel Lavoie's. He's heard my microphones before. I have a mic I'm going to make for Daniel Lavoie. Granddaddy, the singer, has a ribbon mic I worked on. Aaron Espinosa out of Ship Studios in Silver or LaSalle Park. He has a bunch of them. My friend Gus, who's in Roger Waters' band, he has a pair of my Nadies. And if you want to know candidates that I really love to work on, I love Nady R74s, Nady 5s. I just did a few days ago or yesterday, you saw one on a Bumblebee kit microphone. That was really, really difficult to work on. But I just checked in. It sounds fucking amazing. I will say the Bumblebees have good aluminum and they're made really well. So these used to have really funky ribbons, which are kind of like a plastic. Yeah, this one feels like it's foil. But they used to have these really, like, I'm almost on the question mark, like, how much, let me see. No, that looks good. Well, their ribbons have gotten better. I will say that as I destroy this one. But the reason I destroyed this one wasn't because I want to be disrespectful of that. I do think because they sell a boatload of microphones, and it really is for the entry-level enthusiasts. Hey everyone, how you doing? What's up? Alrighty. Are you making time machines? I wish I was making a time machine. If I had a time machine, where would I go back to be? When I was a kid, I'd go back to the dinosaur world because I wanted to see dinosaurs. But then I'd probably get eaten. And I'd probably get bit by something, a big python or something that would eat humans. All right, so back to this. I'm trying to get this done in a fashionable time. So I've just done this. Now what I do is I got to measure the gap. And like I said, I thought that was about a 4-point ribbon. And I think they make them so they just put like a whatever ribbon in all of their mics. But the ribbon gap matters. I know they talk about size matters. It is true in ribbon mics. You have to make the ribbon mic so that the ribbons are as close as you can to the magnets without touching. The quality of the ribbon has to be 100% aluminum. I've seen some mics recently that have opened up, and it looks like rust or some kind of they've oxidized, which means there's some kind of impurity in the metal, and that is not fucking good. So I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, like, hey man, I bought really good aluminum. I got a skill set to help you out. And if you want to have a mic and you don't want to pay, $1,200, $1,400, up to $5,000, I can help you out. And I have a professional studio. I have ATCs, Neves, Wally Hyder APIs. I record sick bands. But I will say, this thing that I'm offering is only for a little bit, because once I start making my mic, I don't think I'm going to have time to do this. But this was sent to me, and I'm doing it. Okay. Size doesn't matter technically, you could say. But in ribbon mics, well, I should say only in the sense of putting it in the mic, because buyer mics are super fucking small. Like, their ribbons are as thin as a toothpick, and they sound huge. So yeah, ribbon mics are all about the transducer, how it's made. Small ribbons like an RCA 77s are really desirable as opposed to a big 44. But the big 44s have a massive, huge low-end sound, and that doesn't always work good for the human voice. So that's why people started making ribbon mics smaller. So we're going to measure this out. Give me a second here. Reset, come on. Saw that, grab that. Oh, you son of a bitch, you're fucking driving it in there. Oh man, hold on. Whew, I gotta tighten this up. Yeah, the magnets are really, and that's one of the things. They have neodymiums in these. It's fucking strong. So if I get the ribbon right, okay, let's see, we're here. Come on. You son of a gun. Whew, you just saw me. I can't. It's always not easy. Right now I'm going live. I don't have a problem ever doing this. I just gotta get it in there, man. I don't want it to fly in the middle of that. Okay, looks like about close to 520. Let me double check it. I'll do another one just to find the average. 519. Okay. So once again, I get these about the this one's 5.19, almost 520 millimeters. I get these between 490, 510, 520, 525, up to 550, a massive gap. And once again, I don't know why. I'm not in the factory. I don't know why this fluctuates, but that's why I have to get them. But see, that's what I'm talking about, this ribbon being great. It's 5 millimeters. A Kohl's is 6 millimeters. Stagers are 7 to 8 millimeters. I mean, massive. So for a big ribbon mic, this is pretty big under most, under most conditions. So what I need to do now is I need to clean that ribbon area, because even though I took that ribbon out of there, I can see little particles of, could be anything, because it's magnetic. And when it comes out of the factory, I'm sure there are clean rooms and they try to be clean. But me removing this mic and knocking up dust, and, I actually do want to clean this area too. That's where the ribbons are going to stick. Now I have to wait before I put this on, because I need the, I have to retape that. Let me see here. So give me 1 second. Trying to get this done live on the spot so I look like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Pardon my French. I'm almost 60. I think I lost my filter. Like your uncle would be like, oh, fuck, uncle, what did you say? Because you don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I do, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, you kind of speak your mind. Let's see. 1 second. Holy cows, Batman, let's get this going. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, this is ribbon material that I buy in bulk. And because they're in massive sheets and it's really expensive, it's about $100 for a massive sheet. I have to cut them down to small sizes that'll become a little bit more workable, usable. So what I want to do now is I want to measure this to cut this ribbon. Would you rather fight 100? Interesting. Okay, so let me just measure this out. I'm cutting this a little bit under 5 millimeters. So it can fit in there as close as I can to the magnets with a small ratio. And the reason I want to do that is initially I think this ribbon was about a 4 millimeter. So I've got almost a millimeter on the factories. But the reason the factories make them is I think it's just whoever's installing them. You don't have to be that fucking crazy. You can just get it and just throw it in there. It doesn't matter if this transducer is 5 millimeters, 520, 540. Well, it would be terrible if it was a large. Like sometimes I get these in almost 5.5 millimeters. That is a great gap to put a ribbon in. But if they put a 4 millimeter or more ribbon in it, that's kind of malnourished as far as for that microphone. Then that microphone is not going to sound good. So if you just tuned in, I'm cutting a MXL R144 microphone that someone bought from Sweetwater. They bought it for $99. Then they have me upgrade them, and I make them sound like $1,200 ribbons. And it's all in the ribbon cut. So if you want to know the difference of why you spend so much money when you buy a Royer or an AEA or a Kohl's microphone, not only is the ribbon and the expertise in cutting the ribbon super important to them, but the actual consistency of how everything is built. If I had 100 Bayer mics right here and I measured out one of the ribbons, I could cut 100 ribbons before I work on the mics, and I guarantee you they would all fit. The consistency of their build is why that's part of the charm of when you spend a lot of money on these mics. they do spend a lot of time on the craftsmanship of not only the microphone and the transformer, but they got a whole ribbon cutting department that no one's fucking around. Royer weighs the ribbon. So you saw me, I'm gonna cut this ribbon. They actually cut this ribbon, they weigh it. If it's too much in the weight, even if it was cut wider or thinner, you have to cut off the ribbon until it weighs the right amount. That in turn is the consistency of every microphone has the same amount of aluminum inside the transducer. So yeah, it's crazy, and you can get really insane on cutting ribbons. And like RCA, BK5s, and older ribbons, there's only a few people in the United States that can cut those ribbons properly. And I think that that says a lot about AEA, making those mics. Also, I think I see someone's Voodoo, but SE microphones, which are made in China, out of the gate, Sue, the owner, he makes a good ribbon mic. He makes the Rupert Neves too. High quality. I've been to the factory in Shanghai. I traveled all through China for 2 years recording indie bands. And I knew Sui, and I flew to Shanghai. I went to their factory, SE. They let me fill my backpack up with microphones. I had 2 Voodoo 2s, I had T2s, I had the tube mics, I got everything. But at that time, I wasn't working on ribbons, so I knew they were made well. Well, recently, I've done 2 or 3 Voodoos. And when I opened them up, and now that I've got my knowledge of this, hold on a second, I just almost ripped this. I do have to be careful. I'm talking here and moving at a pace that, like, don't fuck up this ribbon in front of everyone. Oh my God, it's so hard. As you can tell, this stuff is really, really easy to just ruin. Oh my God, why isn't that coming off? Hold on. Oh, okay. And so Sui, or SE, I think they make a great mic. So I'm going to cut off this end. And like you said, these mics are a little bit hard. The foil, the longer you cut it, it has a tendency to want to roll up like a pig's tail. If this was any thinner, it would curl up, and I would have to cut it shorter to make it manageable. So you are working with something really, really flimsy, and I have to see if I can get this off this top. Guys, not doing it. Hold on. See, it's kind of stuck to that. Oh, the top and the bottom. Son of a bitch. Hold on. There he is. We're separating the parting of the C's. Let me see here. A few questions from anyone. Whoa, thanks for doing this. Videos, Manny. Appreciated, brother. Kind of looks good too. Yes, we are making a ribbon from scratch here. If you put in a thin 6 with sound coast to coast, that is an interesting idea, but the coals are surrounded by a screen and kind of like a silk cloth. If I was to put, and also the ribbons are a little bit smaller, they're about half the size. If this mic had a ribbon about that big, that could be 6 millimeters, or if I put a small 1-inch magnet in this and then put a Coles ribbon in it, I don't know if the way the basket's made and the way Coles are designed, they blow really easy, somewhat, but there is a certain amount of protection that went into the design of this, and so yeah, it could be possible. And as a matter of fact, one of the mics I am going to be making, not the first one, but I am going to be making some overheads that I plan on putting some coal thickness. But if I'm going to do that, I have to make sure that everything that goes in around the mic is able to, that the ribbons aren't going to blow. Because once again, you get into that world, and there's a reason those mics cost so much. I mean, I really say that when you open up the mic, there is a video I just did a few days ago on a Coles. It was really difficult to work on, but there is something beautiful about how they make them. The magnet is just massive. It's a massive magnet that, it's old school. I don't think it's not neodymium. I think it's probably Alnico, which would be like an old guitar pickups, like when people talk about Eddie Van Halen's sound. RCA ribbons are hard. Not really. I've done a bunch of RCAs. But one thing is that the aluminum or aluminum that they used back then was different. So if you get an RCA and the ribbon's not thrashed, and maybe it just needs to be kind of tightened and tuned, that's a win-win. And once again, if someone brings me an RCA and they're like, hey, I want to change this ribbon out because fucking I want to get the Manny thing on that, I may say no, because that ribbon may be really fine, and they're made really well, and they're really thick, and I wouldn't touch it. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna put this ribbon inside. 1 second. So this is something you can buy. Everyone can buy these online. I think I mentioned before, these aren't stock cogs. I went and there's a shop in LA, and I went and bought a bunch of all these, like, I think they were airplane parts, and there's movies, there's cameras. I went in there and bought a bunch of them, of these, the little gears. And then I drilled out the center to make them fit into this, and then I ended up really liking them. I wanted finer gears. These are okay. They're really deep and cool, but I wanted ones that are a little bit finer with a little bit more teeth. And up to today, I've got maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 different types of corrugating devices, but I will say, generally speaking, they all do the same. You just have to find one that you like, and then when you work with it, you go, oh, I like the way that sounds. This one and the gears I have, great with mids and highs. It just gives the right amount of detail. When you get into, like, I think my ribbons, honestly, it's like getting a Royer ribbon and putting it in another type of mic. I'm really, really, really into the corrugation in it, and my gears are close to what Royer has. But, hold on, I don't want to rip this in front of you. This is a part, even though I do this all the time, oh my God, you just don't want this to rip. Oh shit. You gotta slightly pull it as you pull it through there. Yeah, so, see what I mean? Even though I do this all the time, all day, when you're working with aluminum, it's just gonna do what it wants to do. There it goes. Holy smokes. I think my ribbons are cut with being as durable and resilient as a Royer, which they are made. They're different. And because I researched it and worked with Bio 160s, and for almost 2 years, I worked on trying to get a stronger ribbon out of the same material that everybody uses, that's what I think I do really good. And because I've learned that knowledge of cutting the ribbons like Royer ribbons, putting them now into really well-made Chinese microphones warms my heart, because it really is about the ribbon, more even so than the mic. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I have a wooden clothespin. Now, if you ever watched when people temper steel or metal, there's a lot of tension when you've cut something. And in this mic, when I've corrugated, there's a lot of tension in this where I need to relax it. So when the first time wind or sound or Marshall hits this, it doesn't expand, and then it doesn't go back to its true form. So I need to stretch the ribbon out. If you ever watch them when they're making these microphones like Royers and stuff, they stretch them out a lot. So when you use them, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tweak it. Hold on. It keeps on coming out. Come on, I got people watching me. Here we go. Whew, I don't want to break it. It's just slightly, I'm going to straighten it out. You can see, just by doing that, I'm releasing the tension. So now it's a little bit straighter, and it's now able to be dropped into a microphone. 1 second. Okay, now it's time to put it in the microphone. I've been talking the talk, walking the walk. Let's see. Now you put alcohol on the end. So what you just saw was me spending a little bit of time on the cut, on the ribbon, And now what I want to do is I need to place it in this mic, set the tension, make sure it even fits, and I could still ruin this ribbon. I'll just have to cut another one. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm really good at doing a one and done, which I just cut one ribbon and I get it. I've done that for years. But when I do mics I've never worked on, or some really, really old, like a Telefunken ribbon or something weird, I end up having more of a, where I fuck up a few ribbons. When I do Kohl's, I gotta make at least 5 ribbons. That is just something I have to do. Oh, shit. All right. Sorry about my silence. I'm not breathing. Come on. Oh, shit. Come on, just stay. Okay, I gotta change Q-tips because... Holy smokes. Hold on a second. I just brought some. They're in my bag. Where's my bag at? Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Don't go away. I have a bag of Q-tips I brought to the studio because I knew I was running out. I literally just ran out. There they are. You guys are really watching this. I haven't been able to look at the comments, so you guys could be saying like, Manny, I'm not even going to add you right now. You're not even worthy of an ad. How about a Topo Chico? Does anyone want to get me a Topo Chico? The only person that... Oh, you just saw that. Son of a bitch. Did you see that? I just fucked this up. How did that happen? Okay, hold it. It's all isn't lost. See what I mean? I'm fucking around trying to be cute. And then I get cute with this. Hold on, thought. Hold that thought. Whew. All right. So this isn't a jam. See, that was exciting. Weren't you excited? I'm actually bummed. But hold on a second. All isn't lost yet. All isn't lost yet. Hold on one second. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. You saw what I'm doing. When you do ribbons, you have one or two shots to do it. Because I'm using a high grade aluminum, and I know I've corrugated this really, really good. I'm not necessarily worried about. I gotta do one test to make sure I can use this mic again. Use this ribbon again. Hold on one second. Hold on. Don't give up on me yet. Oh, shit. Hold on. I know we just saw a little mayhem right here from my Topo Chico bottle. Being an idiot. Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. Don't give up on me yet. Hold on. So, what I'm doing... Oh, dude. I got $10 for my Topo Chico. My Topo Chico ruined my ribbon. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate. I was just gonna make the thing like, you can't hook me up with a coffee, man. You always do. Thank you so much. And like I said, I do this to. It's entertaining a little bit, but also I do care. I want people to know there's options out there without having to drop $1,200 to $1,400 to $5,000 for a good ribbon. Yeah, it's a lot of work to get it that way, but when you spend that money and you do buy a high caliber ribbon, there's a good chance they themselves, that company, has put a lot in there. Thank you so much, brother. So what I've done is I have like one shot to revamp this ribbon, and I just did. So you just saw me kind of make a little no-no. So what I've done is I prepared the same one again to redo one more time. Let's see if I can make this happen. Hold that thought. Shit, hold on. Don't break on me. Don't break on me in front of my peeps. Hold on, hold that thought, hold that thought. Oh, snap. Okay, holy smokes. All right, that was some magic right there. I'm not out of the woods yet. So that was a ribbon that you just saw me destroy. But there it is, back from the dead. I got one shot. You only can really do that one time. But because I use really good ribbon material and I know my corrugation, which is really strong, holy smokes, that was close. But let's just see. I could put it in the mic and destroy it again. You just saw me. So I need to do now, stretch it again. Because even though I've got this together and then you saw it stick to my Topo Chico bottle, how did that even happen? Oh my God. So I need to get this so I can stretch it one more time to release the tension in it. Okay. Holy smokes. Hold on. Don't give up on me yet. Oh, fuck. We have to stretch this. I can't install it without making sure that it's... I don't want the wind to hit it and have it expand, and at least not have some of the crimping of the aluminum not open up and expand. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that tells you how good I cut these, because that is pretty primo now. Again, Jesus Christ. Okay, I talk a lot of shit. It's time to get to business now. I told you I can put a ribbon on the mic, but you may not be believing me at this point. Okay, and there'll be no Topo Chico until we celebrate, and this is in the ribbon. So let's try and rinse and repeat. Okay, we got our Q-tips. I need my tweezers. Where are my special tweezers? Okay, I just had them in my hand. There they are. Okay, this I'm gonna do for safety one more time. Can't really take a chance. Okay, let's lay this in. Actually, I don't like it. I'm gonna do it this way. I know it's weird. I have a weird sense of my dog whisperer, ribbon whisperer vibe. When I look at a ribbon, there's a way I want it to go in, and I can just tell this is the way I want it to go in. Okay. Alrighty. Holy cows. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, now we have one problem right here. Oy. Ripping off that is scary. But you saw what happened last time. I have that little knucklehead lip hanging up. I do need those sometimes. I've actually kind of screwed myself now because if I need to get a little bit more out of this mic, I've just cut off the little slack I needed. But I think at this point, if this ribbon doesn't make it, I am going to make a new one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Holy cows, Batman. So I need to check it up to the light to make sure that it's, hold on. Yeah, that looks great. It's right down the middle. Okay, let's see. Tell the truth, Manny. You did that just to show you. I wish, dude. Here's the truth. My wife is waiting for me at work. I went live and I thought, oh man, I'm fucking good. I'm gonna get this done in a half an hour. You just saw me fuck up a ribbon and now I'm not there at work picking her up. But it's okay. We're going to the movies tonight to go see Superman, so I've got a little bit of time to make up that for her. Okay, hold on. I'm just blowing on it to make sure that the tension looks right. I need to check it one more time to make sure that the gap is great. That is right down the middle, center good. Now the reason I'm really critical on it, having it going down the center, is that once I put these clamps on, they could move again. Sad to say, but that happens. And that being said, I need to make sure it's in the center. So if it does get nudged a hair, it's still into my own acceptable distance. All right. And like I said, because the camera's in front of me, it's kind of like working on your car from the trunk, and you're doing something in the hood, like the carburetor. So I'm doing my, oh shit. Hold on, don't do it. The magnet is just fucking drawing that in. Hold on. Easy, buddy. I'll tell you where to go, and you're gonna go in there. Maybe. Oh shit. Okay. The magnet wants to fly out. Hold on. Damn it. Don't let that. Oh shit, it's flying out right now. Son of a bitch. If this flies out, I'll have to end the video because I then have to cut another ribbon. Holy smokes. Just go in there, motherfucker. It's not in. Son of a bitch. Am I that off? Okay, hold on. I gotta get a grip on this. Literally. There it goes. Holy smokes, but I think I moved the ribbon. Son of a bitch. Are you doing this to me right now? All you have to do is go in that hole. Are you not going in the hole? There you go. Holy cows. Oh. Then it falls out of the vise. Hold on. I can't put it down all the way because I don't want to bow this. That's not in all the way, but give me 1 second. I have to see if this is crooked. If it's crooked, I have to unscrew it and put it in. It moved a hair. Son of a bitch. All right. Rinse and repeat. As much as it's like, you know, I always do that scenario of you break out of prison, you've made the hole, you're on the other side of the wall, you've escaped, you're on the other side of the fence, and then you go, oh my God, I forgot my toothbrush. I got to go back in. And your peeps are going, are you fucking crazy? Why don't you just leave it? You're fine. But here's the problem. I've got to get this mic to someone, and I've given my word it's going to be fucking off the chart. I can't screw around like this. This ribbon has got to be spot on. Okay, hold on a second. The reason I'm grabbing it with my tweezers because if I don't, the screw can fly off and go into the magnet and then rip the ribbon. Holy cows. I'm drenched. I'm totally drenched in sweat now because I had to turn off my AC so I don't have wind coming in here. I have a little fan next to me, but I couldn't even put the fan. So I need to move the ribbon. Oh, come on, just get out of there. Why are you going to give me? Okay. I need to move the ribbon back in the center. Because like what I said about me centering it, when I put that little plate in, it pulled it back off center. And I needed to make sure that this is on center. Come on. When I re-put the alcohol, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room to do this. Now I need to see if it is in the center. I accept Jesus. All right. That is a little bit to one side. Which side though? Hold on. Okay. The ribbon is a little bit on this side. I need to once again center it, but it's all just vibe. Like when I search my soul, I have to go, does that look right? That looks good right there. Let me check it. As the crowd goes crazy. Oh fuck. It's on the other side now, too much. Hold on. This is getting to a point where it's like, not the Three Stooges, it's one Stooge, it's me. Okay. I know what I'm doing here. That looks good. That looked great. Oh, but it fucking just moved again. Son of a bitch. Hold on. We got it. The alcohol's drying up. It's starting to stick. Let me just check it one more time. Nope. Son of a It's on this side too much. I wish there was a way that I could tell you that that's already wore out. I gotta get another one. I wish I could tell you that there was, when you talk about practicing law and practicing physicians, they're really practicing on you. If they fuck up, you're like, oh, well, I'll go back to the books again. I'll win the next case. Or, sorry, your knee's all fucked up. I'm just practicing. I'm a practicing physician. Well, I'm a practicing ribbon mic repair nut. And like I said, there's no guarantees. When I started this video, I was like, will you succeed? I don't know. But I'm going to go for it. Okay. I think we're okay now. Let me now get the, see if I can put that plate back on it again. I don't want to drop that onto the ribbon. Shit. Oh, really? You're going to stick? See, the problem is when I put pressure on it like that, it then sticks to the ribbon. Okay, now I gotta loop that screw into that. Hold on, you're not playing with, let me get it tight. Okay, loop it into that loop, bring it over. Does it go in the hole immediately? Come on, just go back and forth. Where are you at? Okay, I'm just gonna hope this doesn't move. Oh, shoot. It's not in. Son of a bitch. Where are you at? Why is this not? Oh, that's why. Alright, this is getting a little point where I can't see. Okay, that needs to go into a hole. It's not going into the hole. Oh my god, what is going on here? Hold on. Ribbon's moving. Did you go in, I hope? Now, if the ribbon goes a little sideways or something, oh my god, really? I can feel it going into the screw. I've never had this much trouble putting a screw in like this in this mic. I almost feel like that screw, even though they're all the same screws, I'm gonna switch it out. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that guy. Holy cows. Let's try this one. Okay, I felt something click. Now watch, once I check it, it's not gonna be straight. See? What are you doing? Is it this way? I am seriously, I'm not understanding how this is not going in there. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, that is not working either. Hold on. So I'm gonna double check this ribbon. Don't come stick into that. Yeah, oh, it's son of a bitch. I think this is backwards. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Don't give up on me yet. Okay, holy smokes. I think it's the other way around. That's so weird, man. Yeah, that hole is son of a bitch. Hold on. Silence. can tell I got real serious. Fucking shit. Okay. Holy cows, man. Jeez. Okay. I'm gonna drink a Topo Chico shot now. God. Alrighty. Now I need to rinse and repeat again. This screw is slightly off. So when I put this plate on it, it was the other way around, which doesn't matter what I did, that is offset. I think this is right now. I'm hoping not to have any problems now. Let's see if that's right. That was some serious shit right there. I really wanted to go live today, huh? I could have been doing this all in the privacy of my own home, cussing to myself. Come on, just go in there. Are you gonna do it? Oh shit. Really? Okay, hold on. It's so fucking close to the edge. Okay, come on, just... Why is that? These are offset. It's not my problem, but it is my problem. Okay. Oh, shit. All right. Now I've got to do the other side. And I'm hoping that this is straight. Putting my thumb around it because this screwdriver wants to fly into the center of those magnets, which you can imagine this is kind of like our Earth, and the center is the sun, and it's just pulling you towards the middle. So I did that one. Hold on. I'll get my light game a little bit better now. Okay, so let's do one more tightening. So this one, we could tighten down some more, keeping the screwdriver from flying into the mic. Okay, let's do the other one more time. Okay. So when everybody's like, oh, Manny, you just have to change a rivet in this. Is that all you're doing? Jesus Christ, that's not only all I'm doing. I'm suffering here. I'm drenched. Okay. This is crooked now, but that's okay because this is fucking straight and perfect. I love it. But I'm not out of the woods yet because I need to get this part now right. I've moved it around. It needs to be straight. So, hold on. Oh, shit. That looked really good. Let's see if it worked. Hold on. And when it goes away, I'm just looking under the light here. Nope. It's too much to the right. I need to move it left. Son of a gun, but that's why you have a light. So it needs to go to the left. Oh no, not to that. Oh shit. This thing is only wanting to go one way. It's its own way, or the highway. I'm hoping that, and what I do is I flip it over the edge. I'm going to put the screws in. Once again, I'm blocking the chance of the screw flying out into the magnets, ruining the ribbon. I need that little bit of wiggle room because if that one's not, if I tighten this super tight and that holds off, I'm gonna fuck. Oh man, I know what I just did. I just touched the ribbon. Son of a bitch. I did. Oh my God, when I said that, I caught the lip of that ribbon and I can tell that it just tweaked it. So I need to take this off. Son of a bitch. I'm telling you, man, I didn't have to go live. I could have just been all quiet, talking to myself. No one's here. I have the air conditioner on. I'm not worried about failing. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh. It got twisted. I caught that lip that was just down on the other side. And I need to move it back. Man, it was so good, too. The alcohol is going to evaporate, so I can put as much as I want. As long as it doesn't pour onto the magnets and catch the mic. That's what you don't want. That looks great. Let me see if it worked in the mirror that way. I'm in the mirror, the light. Oh no. It's a little bit to the right. It needs to go a little bit to the left. Hold that thought. Okay. Come on. Why are you twisting? Listen to Daddy. Daddy says don't twist and be in the middle. Let's see. All right, that's in the middle. Thank God. Rinse and repeat. When you do these, you just gotta have patience, man. I'm accepting the fact that I may have to cut this again if something happens, but that's okay. If you think you're gonna do this and then you're gonna get freaked out because you mess up a ribbon, then you shouldn't be working on mics or anything. Okay. Oh shit. I hope that's right. Fuck. I know I'm cussing more than usual today. Just, I'm on the spot. Okay. Ribbon looks good. Let's put the other one in. My goal is not to have the ribbon move while I install this last one. Back is moving. Oh my God. That's it. But you know, the good thing about when you get two of these, like you mentioned, is that when I do them at the same time, you do have a little bit of consistency in the cuts. And also, I'm well aware of the gap. All right, I lost a little bit. So these are $99. You buy them at Sweetwater. They come to me not in this good shape, but what's good about these mics is everything else about it is made awesome. It's a big ribbon, figure 8. The grill's good, it has a lot of air around the microphone, so it sounds great. And I'd say that this is pretty much what you see and what I get. But I love doing this. Honestly, I know I was talking and I was cursing and stuff, but man, was kind of pumped to come in today and get this done for you, and hopefully this is something that you thought was cool. Even if you don't get a microphone, it's not your deal. I love ribbon mics, and it's crazy that from Frank Sinatra to Jack White from the White Stripes, ribbon mics are rock and roll. Ringo Starr, these are ribbons over his overheads. Okay, holy moly. That's it. I'm signing off. I did it. I only have 30 more to do. Hello. Enjoy. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Check in the description if you're interested. I got all my info there. Thank you all.